and welcome to the box opening review of the Silvercrest Gaming Keyboard and mouse. Alright, straight off the bat, this is probably not the cheapest way to set up a sort of like keyboard slash mouse setup. You can get bundle deals. Obviously it might not have some of the same features as this does, but you can get pretty much, I've seen sort of cheaper end bundle deals from Microsoft keyboards from about 40 quid upwards, which includes the mouse and the keyboard and everything you need, well, the two items you need to get and go. At the same time, there was a headset there as well, but I didn't want to go spending that sort of money on that. It's sort of another, again, it was another 30 quid for the headset, and I didn't really want to invest that much more into the box opening. But I found these at my local branch of Lidl's, so they may no longer be there by the time you watch this video, but it's just something I found, and I thought, you know, you might be able to get these online. I will look around, see if I can find any online sources where you can get these from directly perhaps. But again, as I say, this is not the cheapest probably solution to setting up a gaming station or a computer station for keyboards and mouse. So, you know, I'm going to get that straight out the bat, so, you know, save on the comments, oh well, you can get a complete setup for about 30 quid. It's, again, I don't know, if you look around you may even get one that's colour changing for sort of a reasonable price. This one was $29.99 for the keyboard, and then the actual mouse was $19.99, and again it's $29.99 for the headset as well. But anyway, I'll do the box opening for both at the same time, but I'll cover what's on the box for you guys so you can see. So see, it's made by Silvercrest, and if I try and get that in shot without being so fuzzy, you've got 125, come on mouse, sorry mouse, come on phone, focus, thank you, 125 Hertz polling rate, max polling rate 125 Hertz. Sensor is Victor Sierra 8 2 Bravo 4, as either Oscar or 0 Alpha. Cable length is 1.8 meters, roughly 6 foot in old money. Anti-ghosting keys. Now I think that's basically the way the keystroke works. 19 anti-ghosting keys. So I guess that's probably just the whole quirk. Oops, I knocked the camera. The whole quirky side of it, not so much the buttons, the most important ones. It says 9 color changing, and so it can color change as it's got symbols here. So it works, it's compatible with most computers or desktops or laptops, I should say. Going across the top of the box, 12 media keys, semi-mechanical keys, so they're not fully mechanical, they're not fully electrical, they kind of work the two together. Quirky keyboard layout, typical quirky keyboard layout for the UK. If we go down to the bottom one, rainbow effect, so it completely rainbow effect of colours. There's a little window here, I'll go into that in a second once we've seen anything else. 3-year warranty, and again removable wrist support. So if you know, if you do a lot of typing on a desk, I don't typically use these because I have it on my lap where I can, just find it easier rather than reaching over. The keypad's separate to the main keyboard itself. So I say separate, it's a separate layer, it's separately set out on the keyboard, not a separate item. You know, some incorporate it into the whole thing to make it smaller, so it's going to be slightly, judging by the size of the box, it's going to be a slightly larger keyboard. Right, if I go onto the top of the box and work my way down, as you can see, Silvercrest Gaming Keyboard, and a close-up of what's going on underneath the keys. Removable wrist support, semi-mechanical keys. Again, if we go to the side of the box, try and get into view. Again, it just says, well, pretty much what it says on the same thing on the front of the box. Back of the box, again, just pretty much the same as the front of the box. And there you go. Right, I'll put that down on the deck. Well, actually, before I go put that down on the deck, here you go. It's a little window for the so you can have a tap on the keys and see what it sounds like, which is good. I like that feature. You know, if it's in a shop, you can have a feel of it and see how it works. Right, let's go to the mouse itself. Again, this was $19.99 for the mouse. Right, if I go into here we go, three light modes: wave, breathing, and static. This is six illuminations. LED. It doesn't say LED on the keyboard, but I suspect it probably is. I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. Right, resolution is 4000 dpi, and the optical sensor, again, if I can get camera to focus, thank you. Optical sensor is a Virgo 3050. Max acceleration 20G. Weight CA 662 grams. Cable length 2.1 meters, which is roughly 7 foot off the top of my head. I think 7 foot, might be 7.5. Again, it's compatible with computer and laptop. And ergonomic design. It says looks like it's got some little hot keys on the top there, as well as the middle mouse. 1000 hertz, ultra, one millisecond response time. Right, okay. Ultra pulling, and 100. Because I'm trying to look through the camera, sorry peeps. Right, on the back it's pretty much the same as on the front. It says 7 programmable buttons, same spec, 3 light modes. It's just top down view of it, and then again it's just a little symbol that lights up, and probably around the peripherals of the mouse itself. The side, also sorry, hit the camera. The side, again, that's different languages looking at. So you guys can have a look. Yeah, it's different languages by the look of it. So I hit the camera again. Yeah, so that's in good old English, and these are obviously other languages. But if I just go back up to English, you guys want to pause it here and read that spec, you can. And that sort of like more or less concludes what's in the box, bottom of the box. Again, there we go. Right, let's start off with the keyboard, and we'll work out. I'll work my way to the mouse. So again, mouse is not, the phone is not focusing. Right, so let's get the keyboard open and see what this is all about. Pull the little tab down, pull that up. Very good looking, with well presented, I should say. So once you open the box, there you go, and then you just pull the whole thing out like so, and then just you've got the two side, these bits of foam, they just pull off each end like so, and then the plastic cover, remove that, put it in your recycling if you have the option. Actually, it looks quite nice. The only thing I don't like is the way these keys are very raised, very high. See what I mean? It's not inset, it's raised quite high, so you can actually see the guts of the actual keyboard. It says you can, I think I read on the box, you can change out the button layout to whatever your personal preference is. But it doesn't look, other than that, it kind of looks like a retro keyboard in a sense. So if you prefer your buttons, in set, you might not. This keyboard might not be what you'd be looking for. It does look a bit. It doesn't look too bad. It kind of gives it 2 cents. It kind of, in my personal opinion, it kind of makes it look a bit cheap and nasty, but kind of makes it look industrial at the same time. Right, so it says removable wrist support. So how do you actually remove this? It looks to me you have to unscrew it, which is a bit of a faff if you ask me. Because if you don't want this, unless it pulls out, no, I don't want to yank on it too hard. I'll have to read the instructions on that in a sec. But as you can see, there's 2 little screws there. I think it's those. You need to remove those and the whole thing just pops out. But that makes it ease of use a bit. Unless I'm just overthinking this. No, it definitely seems to be sat on there. And it's pivoting on that screw itself. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in the camera look at the same time. Yeah, it's definitely pivoting on itself. Right, okay. Obviously the cable comes in through the top of it. Braided cable, some people prefer braided, some people don't, but that's supposed to be anti-knotting. Then I forget what they use these bits for. And then the USB connection at the end. There's a nice little logo on it. Again, I don't know if you guys can see that. The USB logo, and then it's got the little monkey or gorilla kind of logo. Again, the light's really pants. Right, I'll put that to one side and then see what else is in the box. So in the box, other than this, there's a little bit of plastic, which I find a bit disconcerting. Oh, it's a bit of cardboard, not plastic. The instructions, it's like you've got like this little quick start guide, maybe gaming keyboard, and then there's another one here, gaming keyboard, and there's lots of, I guess you can scan this if you've got a QR code. You can scan something about an online. Again, try and get my camera to focus. PDF online. So I guess you can download the instructions online. Says same thing for this. Let's quickly just flip through this and instruction note. Lighting mode. Sorry, my phone's just went to power saving because my battery's really non-existent on my phone now. Lighting mode, and then function, key commands, function. So I've got to keep an eye on this. Function, running light, color, default, running light, low speed. Okay, so it's like inbuilt, so it doesn't look like you need to get any real software for this. It's just all integrated into the keyboard itself. This one, again, looks more of the same. Again, the keyboard there telling you what the keys are. Again, showing you introduction, trademark, all that good stuff, all that boring stuff that you have to kind of breeze through to make sure you're not missing out on a thing. Yeah. Intended use, function, key. So this is cleaning. This is a bit more of a in-depth booklet. Yeah, it's more of an in-depth, I'm telling you, the warranty and everything. So that more or less concludes that part of the box opening. So I'm going to put that to one side behind me. and I'll go through the instructions, as I call them, before setting it up. Right, next one, I can get the camera to refocus and hope the battery holds out. Right, okay, it's the mouse itself. If my battery does die, I'll edit it and then just explain to you guys. But looking at this, it's like a little, here we go. Yeah, it's a little window. I didn't notice that when I was in the shop. It's like a little magnetic window. So it's got a magnet in there somewhere. To dig that out before we put it into recycling. Was it just sticky? No, it's definitely a magnet. Yeah, I can feel it in the back of the box itself, and there's probably one hidden in there somewhere in this tab. It locks it shut, but again I'll go through what's on the front of the box. I've done all this on the side of the box and then the back of the box itself. So yeah, like I said, 4000 DPI, yeah, again, pretty much. So I didn't actually realise it had this little window until now. I felt it just as I picked up the box. But there you go, that's what the mouse looks like. Looks pretty funky actually. Feels a bit large. I've been used to a very small mouse back in the past, but let's just get this big bad boy open. I can find my knife. There we go. There we go. Get that open. Pull that off. Pull this out. And see the cable just dropped to the floor. And there's some instructions in the bottom of the box, which you may not be able to see. There's the instructions there. Oh, wow, that's a big old book. That's like a Bible of instruction manual. Right. Anything else? Oh yes, right, okay. So you've got like the software disk for this, and then another sort of quick start guide. So this will obviously tell you what you need to do, where to plug it in, like it says. Okay. Is it USB connected? I bet it is. Yeah, it's USB. Right, I'll go into that in a second, but again, just quickly flick through this. Just again showing different languages, how to set it up, set it in CD-ROM, gives you all the software, all that jazz. Right. Which is this. This should fit into any conventional CD-ROM. It's small, but they have the tray for it to work. It should load up. Doesn't, we'll soon find out. Look at the size of this book. This is huge. There we go. Right. Now settings. Okay, it's going into the nitty gritty of how to set it all up, which is quite cool. So I'll have to refer to that at some point. But again, it's all in several different languages, probably why it's so big. Right, let's get the beauty out of the box. Right, so lift up the cover, throw that to one side, put in your local recycling, or keep it for a later use, for transport if you're so inclined and have the space to do so. Try and yank the cable out without destroying the box or the cable or yourself at the same time. That's a fairly decent sized cable. Again, it's braided. Again, some people prefer that, some people don't. Again, it's got that little bit on the end, which I don't know what that's for. And the USB with the little, again, if I can get the light to work, griller. And I think again the griller on there, that's the guy that illuminates up. Mouse is quite quiet. And then there's the sensor underneath. Just there we go, and then it gives you all the manufacturer model number. Again, if I can get the camera to focus, it gives you all that gubbins. Oh, it's got some side buttons. That's quite nice. They're quite tactical or tactile, quite soft. I could see. Yeah, holding it. There's two methods, isn't there? There's the claw, and then there's the other type. If you're more of a claw person, then you could, I think you hold it like that. Or palm or claw. Claws like that and the palms like that. For a palm person, these edges I can see being a bit annoying. The mouse, that's quite nice. It's quite quiet. I quite like that. and then you've got whatever the plus and the minus on here. That is quite nice, and then you've got the middle click. The only thing I can see is accidentally pressing that is pressing these two when you're pressing down on that. You can try and use a middle finger to try and get that around that. And that's all I can really say about the mouse. It's quite nice. It's quite big. It's a lot bigger than my old mouse. But again, no mouse balls to worry about anymore. People don't know what a mouse ball is. I'll try and put a link in somewhere of a mouse with a mouse ball, but they're back in the Jurassic Park era of computing. But anyway, that more or less concludes both the keyboard and the mouse. So I'm going to throw the mouse to this one side. And that to get the box. Throw that down on there, throw that out the way. Yeah, so that, I'll throw it on top of it. That more or less, whoops, go on, focus. That more or less concludes the box opening for both the mouse and the keyboard. I'll go into the next bit of testing and then my overall thoughts towards the end. I'll see you in a jiffy.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the showing off the lights and the functions of these keyboards and the mouse. I haven't got the greatest camera setup in the world. Unfortunately, I'm using my webcam to try and get this, all done. And it's not the greatest of setups, and because I don't actually have a desk as much. I have a bit of a desk, but all my main stuff's on my actual desk itself, like my button box and other bits and pieces. I tend to have the keyboard in my lap anyway, and the mouse to the right of me on a little separate side stand. I will do a sort of like up close personal look at these in a sec, but as you can see, it's all going. I'll turn for the keyboard. Obviously all the functions itself are done on the keyboard itself. I'll try and tilt this up so you guys can see it a bit better. As you can see, it looks alright. I pull it up towards the camera without too many dramas. And I'll turn the light off in a minute just to show you what it's like at night. Let's put that back down. But there's the mouse, and I'll give you a closer look at that. If I can sort of work out which way to put everything. Little mouse wheel lights up and everything else. Pretty snazzy, huh? I quite like it. I like the way that little gorilla. Sorry, it's a bit shiny because, but with the software for the mouse, it's quite straightforward. As you can see, I'm on my desktop. Once you've installed it, you can just more or less change how the brightness is there. You can change that sort of like, I forget what that is. I don't actually know what it is. I'm going to just quickly move that a bit closer to me. Oh, speed, sorry, yeah. Because I'm sitting right behind my actual chair, it's hard to read. That's the speed, so you can change the speed right up to really fast. I don't know if you guys can see that, or right down to really slow. And then again, you can change the mode by doing this. So this is wave, and then this is breathing, and then that's that sort. I think that's the static. Yeah, it's a static one colour. So see how it's just that one colour now. And let's turn the brightness up again, because it's default. There we go. So there's the brightness. So you see that static, that one colour. You can use preset colours that's already selected. or again you can move this around to again change it to your personal preference like that, and then once you let go of the mouse where it changes, so I'm using my other mouse so I don't actually grab the mouse, but as you can see it sort of changes out, and then again you can just go back to preset colours if you fancy red, or if you fancy green, whatever you fancy. Again, change the brightness if you need to. Again, have it so it's alternate changing. Or again, breathing. I don't know what these ones do down here. And again, I don't know how you then reset the actual multicolored changes. That looks a bit like it, like that. But you get the idea, peeps. You can change it however you suit and how you wish. With a keyboard, it's a bit of a different matter. Right, for the keyboard, it's what you need to do. Use the shift functions. Just looking to remind myself. That's all function. So pretty much down on the keyboard itself. So I lean into it. This one here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a little light button. Press that, turns it off. Press it again, it turns it back on. And then to press the function is this FN button, and then you press pretty much 1 to 9 on the key numbers here. So 1 does that, static. 2 does sort of blinking. 3 does like pulsing, by looks of it, pulsing movement. 4 does that. 5 does that. 6 does that. 7 does that. 8 does that. Sorry for my head's getting in the shot as well. My hands getting in the shot. And then 9 does that. There's not much differences in between. I think it's just the way that they change. And I think if you press, yeah, it's the way it changes. There's subtle differences between the two, or between them all. So if you press function and page up, that makes the lights brighter. And then function and page down, dims lights altogether, and pretty much turns them off. Unfortunately the light doesn't do it justice. No, we'll switch this off in a minute so you guys can actually see it in its full glory, and I'll do that right now. There we go. That gives you a better idea of what the lights do look like once you, and it's handy for when you play at night and you don't want your main recording light or main room light on. You can actually, it illuminates all the way through the keys, so you can see what the keys are. Well, that more or less concludes the this part of the exercise. What I'll do now is I'll just jump back in my seat once it's set up. So then and I'll do like a recording. Actually, I can do that now. So if I start tapping random stuff, I know I haven't got a word pad out, so it shouldn't do anything, but Now I've got obviously the keypads down below my microphone, and I'm up above it. I can't see it coming up on my soundbar. Doesn't mean it's not actually recording the sound. So it's quite loud actually. So if you might want to place it sort of like behind your microphone and try and insulate the sound if you are using it for YouTubing purposes. But actually, it's not a bad keyboard. I'm beginning to get fond of it already. I'm going to definitely take the support away from it. And as for the kit and for the mouse as well, I'll keep that as well because they're quite funky. I've already figured out a way I can get the leads to work best for me. But that more or less concludes the Silvercrest box keyboard and mouse opening review. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this review. If you did, again, guys and girls, please feel free to like. If you know anyone else also may find it useful in any way, again, guys and girls, please feel free to share. Helps me a lot, and I don't mind you sharing. If you didn't like this for any reason, again, guys and girls, please feel free to dislike, but leave a comment down below to why you didn't like it, so then I can try to improve in the future. And if you want to see future box opening, or as rare as I do them every now and again. If you want to see future box openings, or if you're generally interested in gaming related items, again, guys and girls, please feel free to subscribe. And every now and again I'll throw in a box opening like this one. Could be anything. But again, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. TTFN.